Well, George, you say that we're going to be like this for the next several months and weeks, but I don't know whether the rest of Australia agrees with you on that one,
Yeah.
because everyone seems to have stopped giving a shit,
Mm.
and they've gone shopping
Mm.
Yep.
for Mother's Day. Isn't that nice? Just
Yeah.
spreading around your bacteria and
S-
viral material in large communal areas. It's great.
So basically, what happened is over the weekend, there's been a bunch of images that have surfaced from various shopping centres where people are not observing social distancing and are being in huge crowds in shopping centres. As you said, for Mother's Day, I did the right thing, of course, and got nothing from my mother. So I called her. I called her. I'm not a monster.
Oh
I
yeah,
get
I
it.
should call my mum. I haven't done that yet.
Oh, Tom, you naughty boy.
Oh boy.
Oh,
You insensitive young
So
man.
greeting card
it,
holiday.
it's just one of those things where it's like they announced literally what was it, Friday, after the cabinet meeting, all hands coag
The
situation. What are they
National
called?
Cabinet.
National Cabinet,
Mm.
thank you. Where they basically said, here's a 3-phase plan. Look, you can tell it's a real plan. It's on paper and it's made of paper, and here it is. And look at it. There's multiple steps. So,
Here's some
so
slides.
it's real. Yeah, we've got lots of slides. Chief Health Minister saying next slide. Someone needs to give him a clicker. But essentially, what it meant is there's a phase sort of reintroduction. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and provided everything goes well, they want to sort of reopen the economy fully by July. But of
But I
course,
think that
it is all contingent on there not being any huge outbreaks and sort of like adherence to social distancing rules and all that sort of stuff. Because if we get 1,000 cases in the next 2 weeks, which seems like it might be the case from what's
maybe
happened
we
at bloody
yeah.
in Western Sydney's shopping centres, then all of that kind of goes to shit. So
Yeah, and it's interesting because even when they say, economy open by July or whatever, because like, oh, how great does that sound? But really, like, they've clarified those comments a little bit, saying like, no, like what we mean by that is stage 3 of the easing back. Like, they don't mean everything's back to normal because they've said like stage, because what is it? They're thinking of, well, they're allowing people to roll back to like gatherings of 10 or something on a state per state basis, whatever, and like certain businesses
Right.
opening. And then the next from that is what is it? It's something like 50 or like 20 people or something like that. And then stage 3 is going back to the no more than 100 people in a room thing that we had like a month and a bit ago, right?
Millennia ago.
Yeah, so like to no more than 100 people. So, and then they've asked, so what happens after that? And they're like, well, we don't know yet. We can't model that yet because we need to see what happens from there. So I think there was a quote from the Deputy Chief Medical Officer, I can't remember his name.
Brendan. No, that's the deputy we're talking about.
Brendan
Sorry.
Favola.
Yeah, but saying, oh God, God help us all. No, the Deputy Chief Medical Officer saying like, no, like really we should be looking at the stage 3 part, so no more than 100 people, etc., as the new normal until further notice. So it's like, even if everything goes perfectly well and in July we've reopened the economy, we're still at the 100 people in a room thing. So he's like, I don't think we're going to see like a packed MCG for the grand final in September, even if everything goes perfectly. So it's like, yeah, we won't be back to normal. The new normal will still be no concerts or no crowds like this kind of that we're seeing, right?
I think part of it is the messaging is people have got they've got news fatigue. So there's that.
We've earned an early mark, Adam. Early mark.
There's a difference between what the National Cabinet have announced. Their plan isn't actually a rule. It's just a guide for the states to implement at their own leisure, right?
Yeah, you're allowed to ease back X, Y, and Z, but you choose which ones you ease back, yeah.
And so the states have all got different rules going on at the moment. So there's complication.
The NT News has been spruiking every day for like the past 2 weeks, being like, guys, it's X amount of days until the pubs are open. That is all. Like, 6 more sleeps till the pubs. And I'm like, well, I know Northern Territory was sort of one of the least hit because of how well they just shut everything down real quick. But yeah, it just means, pubs might be open in Darwin, but here in Melbourne, like, everyone still feels like they're cooped up. And you'll see a lot of Sam Newmans probably being like, well, they're allowed to go drink in the Northern Territory. Why can't I?
But the thing is, like, even if the pub does open, they've got a limit as to how many people can be in the pub at any one time, right?
Precisely. So, you still got to do the social distancing when you're getting on the beers, as our socialist overlord Dan Andrews would say.
You still need to socially distance. You still need to have your hand washing. You still need to do all of these various things. You can't have more than X amount of people in the venue at a certain time, which means that for a lot of these venues, it's not going to be economically feasible for them to open. Like if you've got a restaurant that can seat 50 people and you're only allowed 10 in at any given time, and they need to have 4 square meters around them at all times, social distancing rules, all that sort of stuff. So in actuality, it's probably more like 10 people that you can actually have in there and still play by the rules. That's not going to be enough people. Like restaurants operate
stuff.
Yeah, they operate on razor-thin margins. You're still going to need all the chefs. You're going to need all the cleaners. You're going to have to reorder stock. That's the most important thing. If I work at a bar, can I afford to go and order $100,000 worth of stock? Because that needs to be gone really quickly. Otherwise, I'm fucking broke. Like, so if you're doing a quarter or a third of the amount of trade that you would normally do, that's not enough of a margin for you to run your business successfully, even sort of at half speed.
But I mean, the real story here is that the footy could be coming back. I mean, that's what I've all got to look forward to, guys.
No,
the footy.